And now, from beyond our dimension, this is the JeffMara Podcast. Here's Jeff.
What's up, everybody? Happy Saturday to you. I hope you're having an amazing day. And if you're on the other side of the planet, happy Sunday to you. All right, I'm a little bit late, but I'm not too much late. And hopefully my chat is right this time. Last time I had to keep looking at my other chat, which was kind of annoying. So I'm not sure if you guys are here or not. I have to get over to my other computer and see if it's here or not. Let me hit refresh chat. I kept trying to do refresh chat before last stream and it wasn't working. All right, maybe it'll be working now. Let's see. Let me look over here from my other computer. Yes, and it looks like it is not refreshing here. It's refreshing there. So at least I see you guys over there. I want to make it, though, that I don't have to look to this other computer screen here. I want to get it right here. So if you guys can hang on a minute, we will get going here. And hopefully it'll be working. Let's see. What if I do this? Live chat. Let's see if that's working. And hopefully it is. Let's see. I see one there. Is it the same over here? Not sure. But I don't think it's syncing. That's okay. We can still go without it. All right, so let's get some background music here. A little bit going here. And I think we're good and set up to go. All right, so we've got people here. It's Saturday. One thing I want to let you guys know is that even though it doesn't say it, we're having website problems. The website is up, but it needs to be flashing under construction because we're having problems with it. The background's all messed up and it's just got to get totally redone again. But the good thing about it is that people are finding me so much easier now with the website, and so many people now are contacting me that want to be guests through the website. So I'm so happy about that. And so hopefully within this week or so, we'll get better and better. But that's one of the things that is going on. Today I had an amazing podcast. I can't wait for you guys to hear it. And it was with a man when we talked about how the Earth is being a prison planet and it's going to blow your mind. So I'm planning on posting that on Monday. I have an NDE for you tomorrow night. And so things it's going to be an interesting week for you guys. What else is there for me to tell you before we get started? If you want to join me The Zoom link is below in the description, so all you have to do is go to Zoom and then click join a meeting, and once you do, then it'll ask you for the room ID and password, and that's in the description below. Also, what is below is a link to our Facebook page if you want to friend us or follow us on that. There's a link to my personal Facebook profile, and you'll see that my last name is Reynolds. Mara is my beloved wife. So for those of you who don't know, my name isn't JeffMara. That's my wife's name. So you're welcome to friend me on there. I'm accepting up to 5, until I hit the limit, which is 5,000 people. What else is there in the description? There's a link to our Discord. If you want to join our Discord, the link to that is there. There's a link to the ND Eclipse channel, which is just taking the clips of the NDEs and putting that on video. So that's for people who don't have the time to invest a whole video. They just want to watch the NDE. That's there. There's a link to our merch. There is a link to our cooking channel and a link to our music channel. And I put out a thing today, and I got a new toy for me. Which, if we had people coming and leading the meditations. We were doing meditation, and I got a new instrument that what I could use is, this is called a tambura. And so with the tambura, what's going on is that it's kind of like a background droning instrument, but it's really nice, and you hear this instrument a lot in meditation music. So I was going to see if someone wanted to lead a meditation tonight, and we would, I would just kind of play around, give you some background, soft music in the background. If we were, we were experimenting with meditation and meditating to try to take our energy to the next level and make this live stream, even more with more energy, better, and attract even better or more fascinating guests. Not to say no one's bad, but we'll just see what we can attract if we all raise our energy. And so we have some people here. I put a last minute, I put up a last minute deal or if anybody wanted to lead the meditation. Okay, someone says there's another live running, but I don't think it's running anymore. I can check that real quick. What I had to do is I had to restart the whole thing because I made a mistake from the beginning. And as far as I see, there's only one live going right now. So live now is one, and it's this one. So it should be okay. Some of you might have. What had happened is some of you, I'd started it and then I turned it off, and I thought I deleted it. I did delete it, but maybe somehow some of you are still watching it, and it's taking you a few minutes to get over here. Let's see how many people are in here. Yeah, it's picking up, so more people are here. Let me just check this to see if whoever is here, was one of the people who wanted to lead the meditation. And if not, maybe they'll pop in later. Let's check this real quick. All right, all I see is somebody named Tanya, but I don't see Tanya's name here, so maybe she will show up later. That's just something that's scheduled. No one has access. All right, so let's bring in the first person, Ray Blackfeather. Let's see what's going on with Ray. Let me get access to there we go.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I just can't see you. You're halfway here. Hey, Ray. Can you, oh, you got to put on your headphones. 1 minute.
Let's see.
I hear you, and I hear you perfectly.
Okay.
Do you see it? Or you see everything?
It's very low. Your volume is extremely low.
No one's complaining on my end. So that means that you need to probably turn up your volume or something.
Okay, hold on.
Usually the audience would let me know, hey, we can't hear you. And while you're doing that, I'm going to see if I can refresh my own chat here. So I can see it live. But it's not refreshing. Oh well.
Hello?
Yeah. You hear me? Testing.
Sound a little better. Let me see, is that the Zoom?
Someone says turn yours up. Okay. I don't know. I have mine pretty loud.
Yeah, hold on. Let me check my audio settings.
Okay. And somebody smells sunflowers.
Okay, I got Logitech. It's on the highest volume. Hello?
Yes.
How about now?
No. Everything's good.
Huh, interesting. Yeah, on my end, you're really low.
Do you have a volume control on your headphones itself?
Yeah, it's on maximum right now. Hold on a second. Let me see if I could play an audio.
People in the chat say my volume's fine.
Give me a sec. Let's see. Come on.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I hear you a little bit. Yeah. Come on.
Houston, we have a problem. What are you listening for?
Some other audio.
Oh.
Oh, that's interesting. It's not happening on this one either. Speakers.
Yeah, everybody's saying everybody says they can hear us fine, both you and me.
Right. I think it's on my end. Why do I do some? Hold on a second. Let me do this. Can you still hear me though?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
All right, while you're setting up, I'm going to show my audience my new toy. So while you're listening, this is a part of it. Part of my new toy here that's called a tambura, but this is not a traditional one. This is just a very simplified version.
It looks handmade.
From India, and so this is, and my regular viewers know that I'm going to get back into producing music. I'm going to do meditation music. So this kind of gives you the droning back instrument, or the drone instrument for a live sitar music, right? So you always have this going on in the background. And you'll have that if you're at a sitar concert. So you kind of hear this, and this is, they call in the male voice. It's lower strings.
Oh, interesting.
I wonder how it sounds on you guys' end, if it's too loud or not. I wish I had instant feedback to see how it sounded.
Sure.
It's not working. I've already tried to fix it.
Yeah, barely. Sound system.
Fantastic. Beautiful. Okay, they can hear it.
Make sure this is all correct. Logitech. Okay, let's try it.
I had to mod it first. Also, by the way, I got this And the sitars and these temperas, the sound is this kind of buzzing sound, and it's kind of like a harmonic sound too, that has this buzz in it. So I figured out online how to modify this. So I don't recommend getting one, but if you ever do it,
very interesting.
I'll teach you how to mod it.
Let's have speakers. I don't know why this is so low.
Someone's saying check your computer volume. You can check your volume. I'm a Mac person. I'm not a PC person. But
right, this is a PC.
If you're on a PC,
it's on 97 right now.
I don't know what to tell you, brother, but I need to get going here. I've got two people waiting.
Yeah,
you can hear me.
I could still hear you.
Yeah, you can hear me. Anyway, so your name is Ray. Where are you zooming from?
North Carolina.
North Carolina, nice. What part?
This is like where south of Charlotte.
Okay.
It's between, I'm a lot closer to South Carolina.
Cool. All right. What do you have to share with us this evening?
It's interesting with my life. It's up to you. Like if you want, I do it chronologically order.
All right.
Chronological meaning that I start as a childhood all the way till now.
Mm-hmm.
And what's happening is that when childhood, it's all paranormal things that I have been through.
Mm-hmm.
And growing up in New York City, downtown, Lower East Side, these tenement homes, and most tenement homes are about 20 apartments, and they're about like 250 years old buildings that people have been living in. And growing up as childhood, and my first life that I saw life is on my mom's bed. Just all of a sudden my eyes are just start this from darkness to light, just gently coming out, and I was playing with these cones. That's what all started the whole thing. I said, "Wow, where am I?" And I couldn't understand anything. I saw my mom's silhouette and all that stuff. So it's like I was alive, but not seeing images or anything like that until all of a sudden it just came right up. It just opened up. The whole world just opened up. I'm like, wow, this is interesting. So ever since that happened, and as I was getting older, like around, I'd say about 7 years old, I believe between 5 or 7, I'm not too sure. I remember staring at a kitchen, and just out of the blue, a cup just went real straight up and down, just like it just snapped up and down. And my mom turned around and said, "Oh," and I said, "What was that?" And I still couldn't understand what was really going on. So I would get terror dreams. I would see shadow figures. I couldn't understand as growing up and not understanding what haunting is all about, like what was going on. And I've been getting terror dreams over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened is that as growing up, I would get physical terror dreams. Like people always dream about like, oh, I'm falling, and then they fall and they wake up. And when I fall and wake, and when I wake up from a dream from falling, I would actually land on the bed, my whole body. It's not like I stood up and then land backwards. I don't know. And I remember feeling that as I growing up. And another time, got to the teenage years, the hauntings never stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember sleeping, and an entity went in my dream, went into my body, and I woke up like gasping for air. Right. Again, I said, "Uh-oh, there's something going on." I had to move out of the house. So I literally just like, "Mom, I'm moving out. I'm gonna get, I really got to get out of here. I can't, I'm not feeling this." And also she's a Buddhist. My mom is a Buddhist.
Okay.
And when I used to grow up with her, and she would take me to these Buddhist temples. Every once in a while, I would bump into somebody like a priest or a nun or somebody like that would grab my hand and palm read my hands. And this part, if you could see, this is the line where God. They always said this is where God strike. Meaning that as I get older, you read about that the lines, what they all really mean. Where this is the lifeline, this is actually faith. This is their faith line.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to myself, "Wow, this is interesting." I never read Bibles. I never got into the Buddhist thing or anything like that for some reason, just not interested. Or I was just interested of education, hanging out with friends, and that was it. So I was like, wow, this is such a coincidence that people keep on saying as a childhood that you have faith with like this is God strike you. God, they always said that.
Mm-hmm.
And they never said, "Oh, this is your faith. You should be seeing, seek God or seek somebody." That was never mentioned about that. So I kind of left that alone as I was getting older. What would happen? My first encounter the UFO was really interesting. It was in Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Yeah, this is out in Pennsylvania. It's called what is that place called? It's in it's called Elk Grove. If you typed it in, it's in the middle of the woods, middle of nowhere. So anyway, set up my telescope. Back in them days, I have a 10-inch telescope, 9.5-inch mirror. It's called a Cassegrain. Now, what a Cassegrain is that the front of the telescope, there's a lens, and in the center of the lens, there is a mirror, a one-way mirror from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
So when the image comes in, it goes through the lens, goes to a mirror, reflects off of the mirror, the concave mirror with a hole in it, and it will reflect back to that glass and comes into the center of the tube
Mm-hmm.
where you look through the telescope. And this was a 29 millimeter eyepiece.
Okay.
It's like a zoom. It's wide enough to see through it. And I remember watching these shows. I love science. I grew up science. I grew up science fiction and all that fun stuff. I was always interested in space. Don't know reason why. And as well as I was getting, I knew I was an empath.
Okay.
And I heard you this time.
Oh, good. Well,
Now
how
it's
did
nice
you
and
see?
loud.
Well, how did you see the UFO?
Yeah, I'm gonna explain that in a second. The UFO that I was seeing, can you still hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. The UFO I was seeing, this is what happened. I ran into the house, left the telescope. I remember a while back ago where they used the Hubble telescope and they just aimed it at one spot
Yeah.
and just not move at all, and it takes forever to get there and all that stuff. And what the light traps the light and all that fun stuff. Just waited out for that. I did the same. I said, "Oh, I might see a galaxy or two. This would be
Mm-hmm.
fun."
Mm-hmm.
Set the telescope. It's a giant professional telescope. It's heavy as hell. They aimed at a spot east. I remember this east. Now this is at 3 a.m. in the morning. Went in the house, got myself some soda, had some chips. Didn't even look at the thing. I just watched a little TV. I was waiting for the images to absorb onto the telescope. So all of a sudden, out of the blue, I just jumped out. I was like, "Oh, let me go check it out." Stuck my eyes in the eyepiece. Two monolith. I swear to my mom's grave. Two giant monoliths. It was so far out where the Earth reflection is not shadowing it. It seemed like it's so far out where it just like literally just passed through just like this. And what two of them past each other. I say, no, this is no way. Went online, looked up our space station, check the solar panels, see what maybe this is what passed through. No, no matches, no lines, just these two objects were huge and solid, no pattern, nothing at all, just two large a rectangular shape. That when I got interested in UFO and the phenomenon and all that, back then I don't care for that. I always thought it was a joke. It's so, people are there, loony, they want to join a club.
Right. So how
Right.
did your
And
life change after you saw that UFO?
yes, sir. That is correct. That's the night when it changed my life.
Hmm.
Totally went like, no, this is impossible. No, this is. I remember I just stare at it. I said, I'm gonna try. Can't move it, just too fast because everything was set up the way it is. Ever since I've been staring at the sky, been looking into space. Boom, happened again. Yes, it
Wow.
happened again. Not the same object. This time it was in New York City, waiting for the light, what they call a light rail. It's between New Jersey and New York, where people commute back and forth. So you wait outside. I just stood up in there every day. I've been staring in the sky, nothing, nothing, nothing. Then all of a sudden, I'm like, what the hell is that? Sorry, this thing is bigger than a 747. It was above where the stratosphere. You could see that. You could see planes flying under it. Just you see the clouds or whatever, trails. You see everything's underneath. I saw even a regular plane just zipping by, 747. Look, that it's above New York City, and it's a size of it's a round size, like an onion shape, metallic. It seemed like it had panels on it. So this is really interesting. I'm like, whoa, I saw it again. So when I get out of light rail, I'm gonna look again. Didn't happen. And I do believe in some kind of mental contact. I believe in that. Like,
Right.
what is a coincidence of moving a telescope, leaving it on that time, at that moment, looking in see two large objects zip by? It doesn't make, it doesn't calculate. I mean, it's like hitting a lotto.
Right. I think
It's like a
I was going to say, I think that they wanted to be seen.
Right. Yes. So as an empath, I always interested in energy, and I since a kid I knew energy was there, and I was never taught the internet or nothing like that. The second encounter, that's when I start watching YouTube, and the YouTube that I joined was Third Phase of Moon, and they do a whole lot of UFO thing and this and that. So I've been following up on that, and as this year, three times I've seen a UFO. Twice was orange light with my neighbors. I was with my neighbor. We're admiring a moon. You know how beautiful the moon is. All of a sudden, we saw an orange J. It made a J turn, orange light, just like that. Like, whoa! Did you
Wow.
see that?
Wow.
And she's like,
That's crazy.
yeah, it is.
I'm going to tell you about this, and I'm going to kind of plug my video coming up on Monday night. I was with a man tonight. He's a PhD. He's a tenured professor at Emory University, and he was telling me today that there are UFOs everywhere in the sky. They're cloaked, and they figured out how to use your own camera to uncloak them and video them. And you got how to set up your camera where you're taking video in infrared. So you've got to set it up that way. You've got to have 4K, and you've got to put it on 120 frames per second. And within 10 minutes, I guess you're going to get UFO footage anytime you put your camera and point it at the sky.
Really?
You can see his footage, a little bit of it on Instagram. Eventually I need to get a camera because I want to replace my webcam with a camera, and I'd like to do that. But that's going to be, I think it's going to be an amazing video for you on Monday night. You watch the video on Monday night. You will see all about that, how to get your own camera. And I think his whole point is that if we get enough people seeing UFOs for themselves, it'll move a large part of the population from believing to knowing if you record them yourselves.
Right.
Right.
Oh, I see. Yeah, everything happens too fast for me.
Right.
Two more times is when I saw a little dot.
Hmm.
It looked like a tiny little star, but it's moving just slightly. All of a sudden, it turned orange.
Hmm.
Donut.
Wow.
Once, twice.
Yeah.
Like, no way.
Right. Right.
This
Definitely.
is wild.
Yeah.
So ever since I start seeing stuff like that, I've been carrying a green laser.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, burning laser.
Have you pointed it at the ship?
No,
Not yet.
everything. No, not yet. I've been
Did
carrying
you see
it.
my video of the guy that did do that?
When he been in contact and they came down.
Well, it was like 2 Saturdays ago, I believe. 2 or 3 Saturdays ago, I posted a video of a man that shot a green laser at the ship, and then they paid him a visit at his house the next night.
Yes, where it was what they call insectoid creatures or something.
Yeah.
And they wrecked his house looking for something.
Yeah, looking for the laser.
Yeah, so I did saw that. I like, whoa, wait a minute. Now I've been carrying it before that video. I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this.
Yeah, wow.
And check this out. I made myself a spirit box.
Oh, cool.
All handmade, and I think it works. But I'm afraid of using it.
Yeah.
So I went to a YouTube channeler who has a My Haunted House. He bought one, and I've been asking him. I asked him, I say, have you ever can you contact him and ask him, is there such thing as aliens? You know, like, is there such thing as God? I don't know. You ever read my comments? He mentioned it. He actually mentioned, and I don't think he remembered me asking him about it.
Yeah,
and when I wrote back to him, and he says, yes, that's great. And that was it. Of his channel. And I was telling him, what I was hoping that him to ask is there such thing as aliens, grays? And they all said, yes, it's real. Is there God? And yes, God is real.
That's cool. Yeah, that's great. You know, Ray, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to get going. I've got people waiting on me, and I'm trying to get a little bit more timely.
Sure.
But feel free to come back next week and tell us some more.
Saturday?
Every Saturday. Every Saturday, brother.
Sounds great. Yeah.
Thank you, Ray, for coming and sharing with us.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Talk to you soon.
Cheers. And let's give Ray a big round of applause. Can you show everyone how to check output on Zoom? That is a good one. I first got to say this, and then I got to thank someone for the super thanks, and then there was something about checking output on Zoom. Miriam, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Thank you very much for the super thanks. So she said something about checking on your Zoom. Anyways, I guess you guys can see this. If I'm on a PC here, you can see this Zoom settings down here is where this little microphone is. And if you go here and click this little arrow, and you can go to your audio settings. And if you go to your audio settings, you can go here and you can up your speakers. Maybe that's what he needed to do. I'm glad you pointed it out. He may have needed to turn up the speakers where he could hear, and then you can adjust your microphone too. So for those of you that need that, there we go. Thank you for that. There was something else I thought I had to say. Maybe, I guess not. All right, so let's bring in Chloe. What happened? That's what happened. All right, let's bring Chloe in, admit. And we'll go from there. Chloe Ariel Soul Sessions. So yes, and this guy's name is Courtney Brown. If you want to see some of his UFOs on Instagram, it's Courtney Brown Farsight. And I think it's called the Farsight Institute. Courtney, are you there? Hello? Chloe, oh, I'm so sorry. I was talking about Courtney and I got off track. Chloe, thank you for joining us. Where are you zooming from?
North Queensland.
Queensland. All right. I just I've had quite a few guests from Queensland.
Wonderful.
Yeah. It's I think still probably Australia is the #1 country where I get the most guests out of the U.S. It's a pretty close tie between, or it's very close between Australia and Canada.
Yeah, we have I think a strong karmic link. We go back to the war, allies in the war and all of that. But I think there's a spiritual connection between our countries. Yeah.
It must be something.
Yeah.
Well, what do you have to share with us I should say this morning on your side of the planet?
I'm not really sure. I just got prompted to come on today.
Well, let me ask you this. Are you the artist of the work behind you?
Yes, that's right.
Those look great.
I have been on the show probably about January, February I was on, and I was talking about channeling. Okay. And that sort of thing. But like that's an eagle behind here. That's one of my paintings. Yeah, so it's catching a fish, and that's
cool.
Yeah. And I've just got some beautiful American artists actually go this way. And I love his work, Alex Gray.
Alex Gray, I was going to say the one, I know Alex Gray is the third one over. I immediately recognized that one.
Right. Which one's that one? The body, yeah.
The body, yeah, with the chakras.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so sorry. I forgot that you had been on before.
That's okay. It's been a while. I've had a few things happen since I was on last time. I was I nearly had a near-death experience of my own. I was driving down a mountain, and then I rolled my car like 180 or 360 degrees and landed on the tires. Thank God. And the only thing I left with was a bruise on my hip, which was amazing. But I climbed out the smashed back window, and I just proclaimed to all my angelic team, "Thank you so much. Thank you." And to the person behind me that was saying the whole thing was like, "I thought you were going to be blood and guts." I was like, wow. What? Yeah, because it was a pretty full-on crash. I got a few warnings about it beforehand, but I think it's one of those points in your life where it's a possibility that you can exit. But see, I've got a lot more work to do as a healer. So I'm doing my healing work by distance.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but why do you think you were getting warnings about it? I mean, was it telling you that, hey, you shouldn't take this route home, or what?
Well, I was looking up at the screen. I had this, not a screen, what do you call it? It's like a thing that opens up at the top of your car. Sunroof.
Sunroof.
Sunroof. And I just got like a thought in my head that I should probably close that sunroof, because if I ever rolled my car, this is what intuition is, right? If I ever rolled my car, then the glass up the top may smash and cut me all over. And I thought, that's a really weird thought, and I closed it. So funny, hey? So
so that means maybe your team was looking out for you.
100%, 100% looked after, because I could have gone really bad, because there was a point where that could be down the mountain there. So it's like a quick second like decision that you these things can either go one way or the other. So I had a feeling go towards closer to the side of this mountainside, and then I sort of scraped the side of it, and then the whole car turned around. It was slippery on the ground, and then I flipped. But yeah, I'm very lucky, very, very lucky. I thank my team. Thank them so much. I've got a lot more work to do with people here, so yeah.
So are you still, I'm assuming you're still channeling, yes?
Yes, I'm still channeling. I'm still mainly doing my healing work via distance. I have US clients, and the last time I was on the show, I've had people from Norway, from the UK, from different parts of Canada and UK. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world when you're doing healing work, you can do it anywhere. And it still works just as powerful. Right. And I suppose I'm here to kind of give that information, is that we are all connected. As consciousness, we are all souls, we are all connected, And this sort of work, healing work, can be done with anywhere in the world. Absolutely.
Let me ask you something here. What do you think are the misconceptions that people have about channeling?
That you don't know what you're channeling, and that you could be channeling dark or evil spirits or demons and that sort of thing, which can be a possibility if you haven't done the healing work. I believe that people that perhaps have mental health issues and haven't really done the healing work, that they may attract a certain frequency. So you do have to be discerning, and you do have to be careful. So being careful about what you hear, like does this being come with humanity and consciousness and love and light, and it's all uplifting for humanity, or does this being come with a sort of agenda or a game, a power game, and that sort of thing? But you can for me, I feel that people's main clairs or senses are the feelings. So if it feels wrong, it is wrong. If it feels lower vibration, it is lower vibration. If you don't trust what you're hearing and it feels tricky, then it's not right, and you should cut that. But you can sense in your body whether it's expansive or whether it's like limited or retracted. I
think that's fascinating. I never thought about that depending on the vibration of the channeler, may determine the frequency of being that they're going to be able to channel.
Absolutely, because what did Nikola Tesla say? This universe runs on frequency, energy, and vibration. That's one of the laws of the universe, is that like attracts like, right? So we're all frequency. I mean, that's where manifestation comes from, that whole idea about the secret. Right. So I've got a dog walking around here.
That's okay. That's okay. I've had guests with dogs, cats, rooster. Did you see the one with the rooster?
No.
I got a guest, Michael Sandler. He's a very popular YouTube channel, and he was holding his pet rooster.
It keeps you calm.
He's Ruru the Guru.
Hey?
I think he named it Ruru the Guru.
Oh, Guru teacher. No, that's it. I wanted to talk about that too, right? You know, when you talk about the misconceptions of channelers and that sort of thing, right? I also believe that, you know, sometimes in our consciousness on this planet, and I'll say it like that, there is this sort of pull towards, you know, looking at leaders or looking for someone above us to lead us. And I think that people make that mistake with channelers as well. Because we all have that inner wisdom within us. We just haven't been taught or able to tap into it, really. So looking at the inner teacher within all of us as a guiding wisdom, rather than looking out for something outside of ourselves. Yeah, right. Even though I do channel, you know what I mean? And people on my YouTube channel, they say it helps them and they get guidance from it. But I try, as I'm doing the channeling on YouTube, that I try to teach people how to channel, how to ground your energy, how to connect to the divine, make sure that your frequency's up high, and do it. I usually do it in very natural places as well, because nature naturally has a high vibration as well.
Well, what is the name of your YouTube channel?
It's Chloe Ariel Soul Sessions. I just put YouTube at Chloe 032 and it pops up. Yeah, Ariel, RIELL Soul Sessions. Yeah, so I've got people all over the world that watch me from that. There's not a lot of Australians on there. There's not a lot of. I haven't met many channelers in Australia, to be honest.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that, because I don't think I've had many, if any, Australian channelers as guests. There's mostly indie. Probably the majority of my Australian guests have either been indie ears or within the UFO field. Yeah, so the UFO phenomena is worldwide, but the channel phenomena, I don't know any other channelers here except me. And I'm sure there are, but I'm sure there are more. Yeah, there's got to be more. Are you in Sydney?
No, I'm in.
Oh, that's right. You're in Queensland. That's right.
So I'm
I was
just
gonna. I would have. Yeah, I was gonna say if you were in a big city like Sydney, you probably would be. It would be easier to find fellow channelers there.
Yeah, that's probably why I go on these podcasts, so I can kind of you cast a net further away.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like a little tiny beacon of light in the far north Queensland. Hello.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Well, Chloe, I am sorry. I need to run to the next person. I'm trying to be a little more mindful of my time. But before we go, they can find your YouTube channel at Chloe Ariel Soul Sessions. Do you have a website?
Right. Yep, it's www.chloeariel.com.au. So I do healing by distance, and I also am a medium, so I clear hauntings or spirits from houses as well, or properties or business. Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, Chloe, thanks for coming on and sharing with us. Don't be a stranger. Come by anytime.
I will turn up more
and
than
I will remember you next time.
Yes, I just had that, rolling down the mountain period. So, can throw you off a little bit. So I'll be back. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks and take care. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much, Jeff.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And a big round of applause for Chloe. All right. So I don't have anybody to say anything. I don't have any messages to tell anybody, do I? I don't think so. All right, so let's bring Julie in, and we'll go from there. Let's see what's up with Julie. It says joining. All right. A little slow. So tomorrow night, while we're waiting for Julie, I have a man that had an NDE that I will be sharing with you. And that's for tomorrow night. I was trying to remember how he had his NDE. We'll go from there. Let's see what's up with Julie. Oh, Julie, are you... She's almost here. She's here in sound.
To turn this thing on.
Yeah, you want it? I think you got it. Nope, not yet. You want to mute the YouTube video?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. If you can, mute the YouTube video. With you. And that's she's in the black void.
Jeff, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I'm having a hard time finding the Zoom.
And it looks like your camera is off.
I'm trying to find it. Jeff?
Yes. Hello? Oh, it says that she muted herself. Let's help her out again. Where is this? Participants. We'll ask her to unmute.
Unmute.
Now you're back.
Now you can speak.
Hi, Jeff. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
See, you gotta turn on the volume. You can't hear him.
I'm trying.
Testing.
The volume's all the way up.
Test.
I'm trying to start my video. I got to get my settings. Darn.
There you are.
Can you see us?
Yes, I can.
Hi.
Hello.
Wait, I got to get my my sound, my microphone.
I can hear you
on
fine.
Headphone or something. It's microphone set up. Darn it. Fuck. Microphone.
Uh-oh, you shouldn't be saying those words. Yes.
I can't hear them. Darn it.
I can hear you.
You might have to take the next person and then...
We hear you just fine. This is a tech night tonight.
Okay, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I had the camera, I had the computer set to headphones. So I have I've been watching your show for probably a year, or listening to you almost every night.
Thank you.
And yeah, I've been on the chat, and it's been such a pleasure being here on live nights.
I think I recognized your name. I saw your name and it looked familiar. And I thought, well, maybe she's been on before. But then when I saw your face, you have not been here
Oh, I've never been on
live.
but I know like Minnie Rapunzel and others. So,
and who's that handsome guy next to you?
Thank you, Keith. So this is Bruce Alexander, and I would like to introduce him. He's actually why we're here.
All right.
So this is Bruce Alexander.
Bruce, all right.
Say hello.
Hi. Hello. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Bruce.
I guess I'm here. I have I've had some encounters with UFOs, and I have some photographs of them.
Oh, what, do you have them with you?
Yeah, we have them. Yeah, and
Awesome.
yeah. So I've had 2 encounters like this in my lifetime. I lived in Puerto Rico in San Juan, where it was my first encounter with a ship. In my friend's backyard, we were all like, hanging out at night, laying back, and a ship came over us very peacefully, very quietly, and kind of stayed with us and then went on.
Was it a triangular ship? Because usually the triangular ones are silent. Was it a triangular shaped ship?
We looked up to it from above, so we were seeing the bottom side of it. So I think it was more of an oval.
But it was silent, like you couldn't hear it?
You didn't hear anything, no, but we could see the underside of it.
Wow.
And I felt like it was knowing, and I felt like I didn't feel any fear about it at all. So, and then it went on, and we all were like,
I would too.
Yeah. And then I'm also a psychic medium. I work as a psychic medium, and I was in Lilydale, in New York, in upstate New York, near Lake Erie. And I like to photograph orbs, orbs with spirits that are revealed in them. I also go out on full moons and go around charged places that are portals, and I take photographs of orbs. And then on the harvest moon, when I was in Lilydale, I went out and I started photographing, and I got a photograph of a ship, and then I also have a photograph of the ET's head.
Wow.
So I guess we'll show it.
Let's see them. That'll be amazing. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna share screen. Okay.
All right. So let me allow that. Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
do you
So
see
what
that?
am I looking at?
This is the head of an ET or an alien.
It's an orb, but like,
Yeah, it's an orb.
It's an
but you can
orb,
kind
but
of
you're seeing
see
that.
there's like an eye there and an
Yeah.
eye there.
Well, I guess I call it an orb because that's how it comes to me in the photograph. If I'll show you also the other.
Now, when did you
So
take
that
this
was that
photo?
orb.
How
In
did you?
Lilydale,
So
the spirit community, which is outside of Buffalo.
So you were just outside taking random photos, or you saw the orb flying around and then you pulled your camera out and started snapping pictures?
No, I take photos. I take photos and I get orbs on the full moons, and with my camera, and I also get like spirits in them as well.
Mhm.
I also got a head of a wolf, which is a totem animal for Lilydale,
Mhm.
and then I got the ship right here coming in.
Well, let me stop you 1 second. So, for example, in this photo, my guess is you got on the bottom the sun going towards sunset in the trees. You got the moon on the left, and then something ET or orb to the right of that.
That's a street lamp.
Which one's the street lamp?
It's a street lamp in Lilydale.
Okay, so that's so that orange yellow is the street lamp,
that's a full moon, the harvest moon,
right?
September. And that is the what appears to be the ship, and then and then right there is like an orb coming down, and if you go up close
the
to that
blue one, yeah.
you see like something in it. It's not as clear, but you definitely see like a face or faces or multiple faces, eyes, different things. You really have to really get up close with
That's as
it.
far as,
Well, let me ask you this.
Sure.
While you were taking pictures, did you see the orbs there, or you only saw the orbs once you looked at the photos on your computer?
No, when I'm taking the photographs on my iPhone, I see the orbs. They come to me. They always come to me. And then I take the photograph, and then I go into it, and then I expand them and see what I get.
It's amazing.
That's how I go about it. And show them the other photo. Yeah. So there's more.
this one?
The other one. No, keep going. There's a third one. Yeah.
Um,
The other one. Yep, there we go. Okay, and then there's this one. Yeah, this one. And then here it is right here. It has a little bit more of a form. And then I expanded that. There's another picture of that expanded.
Do you recall what, the ship, it just looks like light. It's not well defined.
Yeah,
but when you saw it with your own eyes, was it more well defined, or is it still kind of just look like
I have
light?
a photo of it, which is expanded. If you could go to that one,
I'm
please.
trying to find it.
That's right here. There you go. And then that's it right there. So I mean, I'm assuming.
Right. How far away do you think that ship was from you?
It must have been, I would think, quite far.
Okay.
But I don't know. I really don't know.
If you could, let me ask you this: if you could guess how big the ship was, would you say it was as big as a car, a bus? Bigger than that, like as big as a football field?
Football field, I would say football field. Yeah, definitely. And the first one I saw in Puerto Rico was also the size of a football field. That was really close.
Let me ask you this: how did you get the ability to see orbs, UFOs? Did you have an NDE or something happen to you that gave you this ability?
I'm skilled at remote viewing. And I do that in my readings. And I don't know why, but I just do. I really don't know why, but so I don't know if that has something to do with it.
Well,
and I've been doing it when I was young.
What was there some pivotal moment in your life which you went from a regular kid to like this person with abilities, or were you born that way?
I was never a regular kid. I always had these abilities, and
so you're born that way.
Class and in school, and I got shunned for it. And so I guess I used to get in trouble for daydreaming in school. Now I get paid for it.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing. How often do you see UFOs?
Probably not as often, but I certainly feel them, and I certainly feel and know that I'm a starseed connection, which I'm learning about, and that I had, or I could possibly have a past life with that.
Right. Maybe your last life you were from another planet.
I am definitely I definitely don't feel comfortable here on planet Earth. I'll tell you that much.
Did you just naturally have the ability to remote view, or did you take some kind of training?
I've naturally had this
But you
ability.
also have a lot of training.
I've also had training as well. Yes, I've
Oh,
also
really?
had training.
Who did you do the training with?
I've trained with James Van Prague and Lisa Williams. Lisa Williams, she's international psychic medium. James Van Prague and the Edgar Casey Center
Okay.
for workshops, and Arthur Findlay College.
Oh,
as
wow.
well.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did you study over there?
Well, I did it online. I mediumship and psychic and mainly mediumship and psychic work. And they also have like remote viewing as well. But more so the Edgar Casey Center's workshops on remote viewing. Yeah, and just doing it on my own as well. So
you said that you're a medium. Do you have to turn it on or off? Like, do you have people trying to contact you all the side and you have to turn it off because it's too much noise?
No, I mean, for mediumship, it's like I just raise myself up and they raise themselves down. I'm an evidential medium. I'm on Bob Olson's Best Psychic Directory. I work off of that as well. It's not like I can, like, like you see on television, they go out and they're giving readings on the street, like Teresa Capaldo or others like that. I can do that as well.
Really?
I go out, but yes, I can, but it's just, you have to raise your vibration up, and then their energies raise their vibration down and meet you, or at least that's how it works for me.
I mean, you can just walk up to a stranger and then start, a random stranger on the street and just say, who would you like to connect to? And then you can immediately connect them.
Well, it's not like I can like connect with, like, if you request to connect with somebody, I can't necessarily have that person come through, but if usually they do come through, that makes sense. But I would ask ask permission if I could give them a reading, and I raise myself up and I see who comes through, and I can feel like who's coming through. Like around you. I feel like if it's if I feel like it's like below me, it's a child. If I feel like it's right here, like right here, like that's next to me, next to me could be a husband or a partner or a contemporary. If it's above me, one that can be a parent, and then a mother, father, aunt, uncle, and then above that would be grandmother, grandfather, great aunt, great uncle.
Well, that's interesting. That's interesting, the way that you were able to kind of classify the being.
Yeah, it's all energy. We're all energy, and when what I do is I interpret, or I read a soul print, or a soul print essence, I like to call it. And it's like a thumbprint. We all have a soul print, and it has all of our, all of our info in it, lessons we've learned on, in this time, space, reality. And when we transition or cross over, go to the other side, heaven, we leave our body, but we take our soul print with us.
Okay.
And so I just comprehend it. So if I'm doing a psychic read, I have a physical body in front of me. I'm just interpreting their soul print. And then if I'm doing a mediumship read, I'm still interpreting a soul print, but I don't have a physical body in front of me. It's already transitioned, but it's the same thing, really.
What about pets?
Pets do come through, yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, if somebody wants to find out more about you, do you have a website or a YouTube channel or what?
I do. It's, bruceamedium.com. So it's my name, Bruce, and then the letter A, and then medium.com.
All right, awesome.
And then also on Bob Olson's Best Psychic Directory, just put in Bruce Alexander and search, and I'll pop right up there too. with all my info and reviews and what I do.
I know that
And
you would be willing to come back into the gallery anytime.
I have one question for you. Gerline wants me to ask you if you saw government people when you were getting your training, did you see government people getting the training too? Remote viewing training.
Not that I know of, no. But why are they hiring?
I don't know. That would be great. That would be great, right?
I mean, I've seen that on Gaia television about that. You know, people who remote viewed in the government, and I was kind of told, like, don't work for the government or the military or anything like that, because they're very controlling with it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that's just what I heard, but
right.
I'm not going to judge because I don't know.
Right.
I don't have on that, but that's just, it is said.
Well, Bruce, it's a pleasure meeting you. I wish you the best in all your endeavors. Julie, thank you for bringing him to us. Thank you for sharing your photos with us. And hey, if you're up for it, maybe you can come back sometime, and we can bring you on and some random stranger from the chat, and you can give them a reading and see if somebody would come through.
I've done gallery readings for audiences.
That would be pretty cool.
Up to 200 online, and also my own for like up to 60, and Julie was that one.
So he can have like 60 people on the Zoom, and then he'll pick up, and then he'll say, I have this, and then someone will figure out who it is.
Oh, you don't even need to have them come on the camera. You can just do it straight from whoever's in the chat.
Yeah, sure. I don't do chat, but when I do readings, I do online readings where I do see the person, but I also do it over the phone as well. But through voice connection, I can also, which is what I do on Best Psychic Directory. I do instant readings on there over the phone, and I don't see the person. I guess it's for privacy. Other people prefer privacy, and so
I was wondering if we either need to bring a random stranger on Zoom with us, or you know, there's like 300 and something people in the chat right now, you know, like John Edwards does. He just starts saying somebody's coming through, and the audience figures out who it is, where they don't even have to be there. They're just in the chat, and someone will say, hey, that's me. Could you do it that way, or is it preferred if someone joins us in Zoom live?
I think well, if they were in the chat, I saw their name. I mean, I do work that way. Like I have, like, you know, I write down their name when I do a reading. I think it would be easier for me to do it if I can see them.
Okay.
Or hear their voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So your voice activation, it's really through voice activation.
Okay. So maybe, all right. So would you like to come back next week and do that?
Okay. Next week I'm at a benefit concert.
All right.
That would be June. Yeah, that would be June 2nd. Yeah.
June 3rd, 2nd, something like that.
Yeah, but
well, when you know you're going to be here, I'll try to make an announcement, and then I'm sure somebody out of these 300 or so people, already 2 people want to be with you. So you see, people will already want to join you. So.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Then the following weekend for sure.
All right, perfect.
Okay.
And you never know. Sometimes it stays busy all night. I don't know what you guys are going to do. If you're hanging around for the rest of the show, toward the end of the show, if I have nobody here, then come back and we'll do it. I don't know. You know, sometimes it's busy all the way to the end, and sometimes I have a slow night. I can't guarantee it, and I don't want to waste your time. But if you see me get slow and I'm sitting around talking, that means.
Should I put my website in the chat box here?
Yeah,
Julie,
if you like. All right, well, I better run for now, but I'll either see you later or I'll see you in a couple weeks, and we'll make this happen.
Bye, everyone.
All right, y'all take care.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye. And I think everybody wants a reading. And a big round of applause for Julie. All right, so next up is Tony's iPhone. Let's bring in Tony and his iPhone. We are all in, yes. Tony, are you there?
I am here. Can you see me?
Not yet. I hear you.
Uh,
You're almost here. There you are.
Hang out one sec. Okay, are we doing better now?
We are perfect. Give me 1 second. I just needed to fix something. All right, cool. Where are you from? Where are you zooming from?
I'm zooming from Staten Island, New York.
Staten Island.
And I just,
All right. I've had a guest from Staten Island not too long ago.
nice. And tomorrow is actually my birthday, so we have like a little less than 3 hours,
All right.
and my 34th birthday will hit.
Nice. It's a good age to be. If I don't,
Yeah,
if I don't
I mean,
catch
30
you on your birthday, then happy birthday. I hope that it's an amazing one, and I hope your 34th year is your best year yet.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Mhm.
And am I on a good? Can you see me good from here, or should
Everything's beautiful.
Is that better? Is that better there? Which one?
Leave
Which
it
one
there.
is easier
I see your
leave it there?
face.
Okay.
Okay, you look like you're looking at me instead of looking up or down. So what do you have to share with us?
So the first thing I have to share with you guys is something that I saw on a comment section, and it really rung true. So the comment was that women with 2 A's in their name tend to be more gentle, kind, and matriarchal, meaning they make for a better partner and a better wife. And when I thought about it back for myself and thought about past girlfriends and different girls that I knew, and it really rung true.
Wow.
And it takes a few minutes to sink in. But if you think back, and if people in the comment section think back, it really rings true.
Where did you learn about that from?
It was just like I was saying, it was a comment that someone wrote in. I mean, I watch basically all the stuff you put out. I watch all your videos. You've had, you have great guests, and I want to say thank you to you and your amazing wife. The work you guys do, it's incredible, and it means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to a lot of other people. And you know what? It might have been in one of your comment sections. It may have been in another one, but when I read it and I thought about it and it hit me, it really hit me pretty strongly. I was shocked at how true it rang.
What about if someone has 3 A's?
The more A's, supposedly, the better.
The more A's, the better.
The more A's, the better. I mean, I don't know. It seemed like something pretty cool when I found it out. But there's something I wanted to bring up that your show taught me about.
Okay.
So I had an NDE.
Wow.
But it wasn't your typical NDE. There was 2 of them, actually. There was a seizure when I was pulling into my driveway where I'm parked now. Actually, I had a seizure. I went completely black from the time I turned onto my block until the firefighters were breaking the glass in my car to get me out of the car. That one happened, and I didn't remember anything from that. But then after that, there was another incident, maybe in the end of 2018. And it was actually the paramedics said that I was basically dead, or had 3 or 4 heartbeats for an hour. But I didn't have that big experience that people have. I didn't meet God. I didn't see that. For me, I was a seed in the ground. I was content. I wasn't happy, but I wasn't sad. There was no ego. There were no human feelings. There was none of that. But like I was saying, for me, it wasn't the event. It wasn't the NDE so much that blew me away as it was what happened after. And this is why I learned it from your show. I heard a couple of your guests talk about a karmic cleanse, where you have an NDE and you have this life review, and you're basically, you're forgiven for the wrongs you did for the first part of your life. And this is where it connects, because for some reason, prior to that second NDE, we'll call it, I really can't remember things before that. I remember big events, but I have a really hard time remembering a good majority of what went on before that second NDE. And that's why I think I had that karmic cleanse, but I didn't have the experience or the memory of it if it happened.
Do you feel like it's more of a memory wipe, or is it possibly that the emotion that was attached to the memory has been wiped, so it makes it much more harder to retrieve any memories because there's no emotion attached to it anymore? Maybe that's the kind of the karmic wipe to it.
I'm not kissing your ASS, but
That's okay.
this is why I say you ask the best questions. No, because I think it's the latter. I think it's that the emotion has been removed. Let's say, so I experienced trauma in my childhood, like sexual trauma from another man, and
Sure.
I've been to therapy,
Right.
and I'm okay with, saying that, and that's totally fine. But I think it's the second one, which you said, like the emotional, let's say the trauma that I experienced in the first, I think I was 29 when that happened, 28, 29. The trauma prior to that and any wrongs I did for that, it's like I was forgiven for them. And for some reason, I can't remember much of them.
But I mean, do you have, I mean, it's either that what comes to my mind is two things. One is either, yes, there's no more emotion with most of these memories, so it makes them harder to retrieve the memories, or I guess there's three things. Or are you a walk-in, and so you're not, are you a new being that took over this body, or is it maybe just something neurochemical within the brain that it's hard to get those memories?
No, I don't think I'm a walk-in, although after watching your show, that one episode, I don't know if you remember it, the girl from Lyra, she was wearing the shirt, and she didn't mention the word Lyra until about 35 minutes into the interview. But the entire time I was watching the interview, the word Lyra was going through my head.
Wow.
And then she said eventually that her shirt represents Lyra. She was the ancient cat people. That was her. And I was blown away because I couldn't understand why the word Lyra was going through my mind for 30 minutes, loud, clear as a bell. And then when she said it, I was blown away. I actually reached out to her via email. I've reached out to a couple of your guests because it's just, the experiences they're incredible.
Wow. Well, there's always something, I feel like I'm starting to put all the puzzle pieces together, and then there's always a new guest, kind of like you, that kind of adds some new information that I realize I don't have it all together. I mean, I think you may have been the first person out of 500 NDEs who have had memory loss, or have difficulty retrieving the memories that, like you're saying.
Yeah, it's like real difficulty. Like you could let's say you knew me prior to this, and you brought up a memory, a very specific memory that I should remember. That's obvious. I'll have totally forgotten it. And then when you bring it up and talk about it, I may be able to recall it at that point. But on my own, it's very weird. And that's why I think I got that karmic cleanse that a lot of your guests have referred to.
I mean, if like someone says, hey, Tony, remember back in 6th grade when we went swimming at Joey's house? They say something random like that. You just don't remember it?
Not on my own, no.
When they do recount the memory to you, does it come back?
Yes. Sometimes, to be honest, sometimes.
Do you have any abilities after your NDE that you didn't have prior?
I definitely do.
What are those?
So if you met me and knew me in person, if you met me, knew me a little bit more, you wouldn't think this at all, but I'm actually an extremely sensitive person. And I'm extremely, especially after the 2 NDEs, I've become extremely sensitive to energy. And I also heard this from David Wilcock. You probably know who that is.
Right.
That you're so in tuned. We don't know this, but we're so energetically in tuned with the people we live just on the same block with. We all resonate at the same frequency because we all live within the same radius of each other. And that's an interesting fact. Also,
wow.
I don't know. I have a pretty big family. I don't know about you.
Mhm.
When you're with your family, just by being around your family, because you share the same blood and the same DNA, your vibration will increase tenfold. It'll increase to a level that's not possible to get to by yourself because you have all that ancestral support. And again, these are things that I learned from David Wilcock and Corey Good, a lot of people that, like you said, I try to put the pieces together, and, you know, I try to think I have the whole
Mhm.
thing together. I listen to Jason Brashears,
Mhm.
and then I learned something new,
Right.
you know, but I guess that's part of the journey.
Well, speaking of something new, since you listened to Jason and you probably saw he was a guest of mine, right? Did you see that video when he was on as a
Actually,
guest?
I didn't see that. I didn't,
That
and
was a
I'm
very
shocked. I don't
popular.
know how I missed that
Yeah,
one.
that was a very popular video. Well, I had one today
Tell me
that's
again.
going to be posting on Monday night about how we are all trapped here. That is pretty mind-blowing. So if you're into soul traps and
You know,
and if you're into the simulation and all that, you're going to really love Monday's video.
I'm definitely going to look for the Jason video, and I'll keep an eye out for Monday's video. And I am I guess, simulation theorist in a way. But I don't think that we're trapped here. I don't, because I believe in a creator. I believe in God. You could call it whatever you want. And I believe it resides within each one of us. There's that spark of creation, that spark of divinity. We're not just a bag of bones placed on this earth for no reason.
Right. Well,
With that said, with what I've learned, I think that there is a plan that we chose to agree to before we came here. But my main point was, I don't believe that a loving God, which I believe is what we have, would put us in something that he couldn't get us out of. So I don't believe that we're trapped here.
Right.
I can't comprehend that.
Right. I'm totally understand your viewpoint. I'm not disagreeing with you or agreeing with you. I'm just kind of trying to stay neutral. But I'll be curious to see what you think after seeing Monday's video.
Okay, so, I'll take a look.
Be curious.
I'll definitely take a look.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, look, I've got to go, brother. I've got people waiting on you. But it was a pleasure having you on, and I hope you come back and visit with us again. And
I absolutely will.
I wish you the best.
Likewise. Thank you very much for having me on. Thank you, and Mara. Bye-bye.
Right, take care. And let me give you a big round of applause here. I don't know if you can hear that, but we can hear it on the replay. And let's bring Michael on. Michael, the Dream Detective. Now, Michael, we had someone on last week that told us their dream, and Michael is going to come and interpret her dream. So let's see, where is Michael?
Here I am.
There you are, Michael. Welcome.
Here I am.
Welcome.
I try to look respectable over here.
You do. You're looking very respectable.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. I was just watching the interview with Tony, and I was all into it. So I was like paying attention to my phone, but also I'm trying to pay attention over here.
I forgot the dream that you're going to have to remind us of her dream last week before we go over it.
So that's what I was going to say. So you guys, you think I should do Angela's dream? That's what I had in my mind, but then she wasn't here.
Okay.
But
do you remember her dream? Did you write it down?
Yes. And just let me say, because I probably forget to do this, and then sometimes there's confusion. So my name is Michael Suarez. I frequently go by the title of Being a Dream Detective, which is a series of books I'm working on. But when I'm writing in the chat, you'll see me as Creative Learning New York, which is how I'm on social media. So just sometimes I'm talking to people, and I even had somebody say the dream guy's coming on. So that was really encouraging and sweet.
That's great.
God bless you, Susie. I did write Angela's dream down. I went back during the week and I re-listened to it and I wrote it down. And I think I'm going to use this to also, of course, try to explain how I do what I do once again. You and I have talked about this before, but for me, there's two categories of dreams. And I don't have them perfectly worked out, but I do have them basically worked out. Most dreams, 95% or more, are emotional energy in the body that gets expressed in symbolic form. So you're concerned about you're concerned about the rent or about life or where you're going to live. It gets expressed, but again, in the symbolic form. It's literally emotions, and often it's time sensitive because it's what you're going through at the moment, right? It's almost like your body does this work where it does a catharsis and processes that you have too much emotion in an area. It became too much for you, so that it's in a great way. The spirit realm is intervening, right? Now, again, most of those I would describe as emotional dreams. Then there's a few where I would call them spiritual dreams. Mm-hmm. Even though they use the same language, right? The language of symbology, I call them spiritual dreams because it's so clear. Even though I would say all dreams, let's get that clear, all dreams are a message to the dreamer. They're talking to you folks, understand that. But these spiritual dreams, they're almost like they're coming possibly from the other realm. They're communicating. And this is where the small percentage of dreams where, for example, my mother had a dream about someone, and it was an older woman, but I mean, this is such a specific dream, right? Where this woman she was on the bus with this woman, and the woman was tremendously dressed up, like for church, and then suddenly got up and, said goodbye and walked off the bus. And like the next day, the woman died. And that was a clear premonition. She was a spiritual woman, So I sort of say that as a preamble to mentioning that Angela's dream, while thank God I will be able to talk about in specific details, right? No generalness, talking about very specifically, is for me a spiritual message. So I truly am thankful that I'm getting the privilege of interpreting it for her. And I thank God that he will speak through me for her, right?
Michael, let me ask
Angela,
you this.
for those...
I was going to say, let me ask you something here real quick, because you were talking about the types of dreams. And before we get into hers, Kathy Marinucci says that she keeps dreaming about dead relatives. What is the symbology or meaning behind that?
So, again, there's actually, there would be two possibilities. Now, if she's saying, I'm having dreams where they're appearing, this is very straightforwardly from an emotional perspective. Something is making you think about death, and you're sort of like thinking about the people, for example, who went before you. That often happens. Like I had a client who a friend of theirs died, and they started having these sort of dreams, because it's like our mortality is beginning to concern us, beginning to think about it. And you could see exactly what I was showing, how the energy could be heavy enough where it's like, oh my gosh, right? Like my mortality, and then it gets handled or helped actually by the spirit realm. If she means simply that there's a sense of they're visiting her, then it would be slightly different. It would be dependent on the message. Whereas like I had my grandmother once come visit me, that I shared the testimony when my life was out of control. My grandmother took off her glasses and was like, "¿Qué tú haces, niño?" Which means, "What are you doing, my son?" Right? And it was a dress, and like she was glowing in the dream. Like it was deep. It was deep, and it did lead to me changing my life. So,
well, let's move forward to the dream from last week.
Yes. So thankfully these are the dreams, when people talk about like, hey, doing stuff like this, I'm down with it. It's a fun adventure, but this is a good dream because it's not too long, like, so, a really long dream is hard to do in this kind of format. So I'm going to tell you her dream quickly. So Angela came on last week. She blessed us with her wonderful heart, and she shared this dream, and she said she wanted me to comment on it. She said that 6 months after her aunt passed away, that she had this dream where she went to her aunt's house, and her aunt was there and was showing her around, And she said, she used this language. She was like, and she was showing me room after room after room, and they kept opening, right? And she was like, there was more rooms than I knew, like when I was there in real life. And then she started talking about the place. Because she said, I used to live with her, and she was someone I felt very close to. And the place was so beautifully decorated. And these are her words. She said, and it was so stunning to me. Hallelujah, that's going to be so good. And it was so stunning to me, so beautiful. And she talked about how at the end, how the house was a center of a lot of activities, right? And all the people would get filled from wall to wall, right? What I understand this to be happening here is like, I'm going to break down the symbology, but this spoke to me more before the symbology. As soon as she started speaking, I started thinking of the scripture, John 14:2, right? And what I believe is that the Spirit is speaking to her, encouraging her, related to how she is processing her aunt's passing away, right? Now, that scripture is, you'll see why that comes to mind. That scripture is, in my Father's house, there are many rooms. As a matter of fact, let me read it from here, so we get a sense of what is being spoken to her. This is a very good example of dream interpretation or coaching, or the spiritual counseling that comes when I interpret dreams with people. So again, one of the things that she kept repeating over and over again was how many rooms there were, and how shocking and surprising all the rooms unfolding were. And that she said, again, there were more rooms than when she used to go there in her natural life. She's like, there was more rooms than that, right? So when someone pointing out a difference like that, they're speaking. The dream is speaking to them. Remember, folks, every detail counts. So she kept saying all these rooms, right? This is what comes to mind. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God, believe also in me. That's the inner. In my Father's house are many mansions, or many rooms. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. Interestingly, I just listened before I got on, and the guy you had last night, the first scripture he mentioned was actually this one. You know, he was talking about the Bible and NDEs, right? That gentleman. The first scripture he actually mentioned was here. So this is a scripture where Jesus is talking to the disciples. He's telling them, don't be troubled, right? Again, we're going to apply this exactly to Angela, okay? Angela, our sister Angela, has been through some trials. She's been through some stuff that has changed her life. So now the dream is speaking. It's saying, you know, don't be afraid, right? You believe in God, believe also in me. What it's saying is the spiritual reality is much greater than you ever imagined. You see? So she had an idea in her mind, in her natural mind. That's like the place of what she understood. And now this is about the revelation that's being given to her and the revelations that she will get. What it's going to say is that the spaces of her understanding, like the room after room after room opening, would literally be spiritual revelations. If I were coming up with a perfect symbol for spiritual revelations, it would be rooms opening. Why? Because when you get to a room, you don't know, and you don't know what's going to be in there, right? I opened the door, now I know. Right? That's the central theme that's going on here. So again, this is very much an encouragement, right? What's being spoken here is so awesome, because what it's also prophesying is that she's going to come into this spiritual understanding that is so profound, it's going to be shocking. She said the words, it's going to stun her. Every word counts, my people. Literally, when the person's talking about the dream, they're revealing things, right? Each word, when you pay attention. So she, again, is going to get this sense, and it's, just to close it out, I'll explain it like this. It begins with her reflecting on her aunt, right? So this is like reflecting on someone who she said she was super close with, in a way that often is a person standing in for the spirit realm when you have a spiritual relationship with them. And then again, being in that house, connecting to that. She said again, she said her aunt had died a few months before. So she's addressing all these feelings that come with that, right? Again, like we said before, the mortality. And what gets given to her here is, again, that it's going to be so much more wonderful, so much more amazing. It's going to be stunning what she will actually discover. I think possibly not only when she leaves this life, but here, her spiritual experience will open up in such a way. Hopefully I explained that
Michael,
clearly.
yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. I've got to run, brother. It's getting late and I have 2 people waiting on us. But if you want to know more about Michael, what is your YouTube channel?
Creative Learning New York.
There it is. He's the Dream Detective, and you can find his books as well.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jeff.
All right, Michael,
Mom.
you take care. Have a great rest of your evening.
You too.
A round of applause for Michael. Next up is Linda. Let's bring Linda in and see where she is joining. All right, it's been a busy night tonight. Been busy. Once we got up and running, it's been pretty much busy all the way through so far. All right, so once again, tomorrow's night's video is going to be an NDE. The video after that is going to be with Dr. Courtney Brown, about ETs, soul traps, and stuff like that. Oh, it's not Linda, it's Raphael. Hey guys, how's it going?
Good, Jeff. Thank you. How you doing?
Great, how are you?
Yeah, pretty good. Thank you. Pretty good. Thanks.
Where's your better half?
Oh, she's right here.
There she is. Hello.
Hi. I'm ready to go again.
You're ready to go. Are you guys, what do you guys got new for us?
Oh, we have so much.
Have you made plans? Have you started moving yet?
Not yet, but
Mentally, yes.
Mentally, you're there. Physically, you're waiting on your body to get there.
Yeah. Our spirits are there.
You're already there, yes.
Well, we'll get there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The physical. Some people say the physical world is much slower than the spiritual world. So it's taking time for your body to catch up with you.
It takes time to catch up.
Right. What do you guys? What do you have to share with us tonight?
Yeah. I'll be sharing a little bit more about, about the simulation. That like the simulation theory, or the whole thing about.
Did you recognize anything about the simulation in your NDE?
Yeah, so I like to, share a little more about that experience.
Right.
When I went through my NDE and all my awakening. Because I know that a lot of people talk about the simulation theory that, that somebody's like playing the video game, right? So we're like in some kind of matrix video game.
Right.
Yeah, simulation. And that, like who's playing the video game? And so for me, like the way I've experienced it, in my NDE, and when I was able to go to the afterlife, and I was able to see the council of light in this chamber of light, and then after that they took me, to a place where I was able to see the cycle of parallel lives, which is basically a cycle of reincarnation.
Okay.
And then in that space, it was like being like in a computer game or in the Matrix. So the player is your higher self. So then I connected to my higher self, which was this being of light, which at the end everyone really is. But it's like, so the whole evolution about self-realization and enlightenment and everything, it's basically to become one with your higher self, with that being of light. That it's, a spark of the divine, right? It's such a fraction of the divine. So in that sense, they show me, I became one with my higher self. And, as I merged into my higher self, I became like just a being of light, like radiant light and at a really high frequency. And then at that point, I was able to to realize that it was all a dream, an illusion, a simulation. And then from there, I was able to then look down, and then I was able to look at all my lives, and how each one of those lives were happening simultaneously. Of course, they're all happening at the same time. So, but of course, in 3D realm, you have it a linear, but it's all happening at the same time, and it's all really happening just at different frequencies. And when I was there as my higher self, I saw like bubbles, like little bubbles, and each one of those like thousands of little bubbles all around going in a circle. And then as I looked in each one of those bubbles, I was able to realize that was the game, that was a life. Like each one of them was a life. And then I realized that it was all a simulation. So the one playing the game from the whole simulation, it was that our higher self, and so the more and more people start having these experiences, then the more they'll start tapping into their higher selves, and the more they'll realize that that's the one really playing the video game, the one that is doing the simulation, the one that's projecting the simulation. So the projection comes from the heart of your higher self, and I saw from my heart, from my higher self, projecting through hundreds of thousands of beams of light into each one of those little bubbles. And in each one of those little bubbles was just a projection or a simulation, which each one of them had a life. Each one of them had a different life. So I was able to see, and then I was able to travel, like I mentioned before in your show, how I was able to travel to different lifetimes. So then as I walk into that projection, that simulation, I realized that it was just a simulation. They were all simulations. So it was a collective of simulations happening. So as I focused on one simulation, then I automatically went into that simulation. And then all of a sudden, like I mentioned before, I was like in Greece, or in the Greek times, and I was like a philosopher, and then so then as I went in there, I realized it was all a dream. And then I saw it was like a simulation, but then I went inside the simulation as well, into the avatar body of that person, in Greece, and then I was able to go into different simulations, like I mentioned to you before, like in the medieval times, being a king, and I think you mentioned maybe being a pirate.
Yeah,
I didn't see that one, but not yet. But I saw different ones, but I was like a slave, and I was a soldier, and a pioneer, and a priest. Yeah, I mean, basically just all different types of life of lives that we go through, and then I realized that all of them had a learning experience, and then they were all connected as well through a thread of light. So that's the thing. So they were all connected and they were all intertwined as well. So as like through the soul lesson. So at the end, each one of them, the more it kind of went in a circle though, like they had a direction. I mean, they're all happening at the same time, but somehow the way I saw the simulation structure was that it started at one point and it went around in a circle all the way back to the end, or to the beginning. And that was kind of like completing the whole cycle of evolution, that of growth, of where we master the lessons and we go through life experiences. But yeah, at the end, it was like that whole experience that we were all living in a simulation, and that was something that I want to create. Next time I'm in your show, I'll share with you some of the projects we're working on, because we're working on I want to create a documentary about all this stuff, and I want to create like a platform for like talks as well that we can share about all this stuff. So
when you were with your higher self, did you know everything? Like, you knew the answers to any question you had?
Yeah, it became like clear. It became very clear, and it became really obvious. And I remember I still have a couple more lives to go, so I'm not a master yet. I haven't made that complete connection to my higher self. But from what I experienced, yeah, it was like I realized that everything, completely every simulation had its learning, and its purpose, and the balancing of the karma like, you know, maybe in one lifetime I was a Roman war, you know, legionnaire, and I was, you know, kill a lot of people. But then in another lifetime, you know, because I was a peasant, and then, you know, sort of, so every simulation kind of like it was intertwined through balances of karma. But then at the end, I everything was like not negative anymore. You come to that point where there is no negative. Like all I saw was like light and life experiences, and that it was a blessing to go through those simulations. You know, but at the end you realize that it was all a simulation, you know, so then it's like you don't take anything personal, nothing really bothers you anymore, and you just kind of like realize like it was just for fun. The whole thing was just for fun to experience.
That's cool. Well, Raphael, I got 2 people waiting on me. I've got to get moving on, but thank you for coming and sharing with us. It's always nice to see you.
Welcome. You're welcome, Jeff. You're welcome.
You and Lisa.
Next time I'll share more about the project.
You mean Linda?
Oh, she's right here.
Hi.
All right. Well, it was great seeing you both. Don't be strangers. Come back and visit us.
Okay.
And it looks like you guys have a great. It looks like it's still daylight over there, so you can go out and.
It's sunny.
You can go take Linda out to a nice dinner.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right. Yeah. Take care.
Okay.
We'll see you soon. Okay.
See you soon. Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
All right, and a big round of applause for them. And next up is the one. Oh, I gotta do this. Yeah, I gotta say a thank you very much here to Top Notch. Top Notch, thank you very much for that super thanks. We really appreciate it. And it says, love you guys. JeffMara podcast is blessed. Thank you, Top Notch, and we love you too. All right, next up is Mr. Cake. Let's see what's going on with Mr. Cake. I was wondering if he was going to be here or not this week. I hadn't seen him tonight.
Oh, Jeff. Oh, Jeff.
Hello, Mr. Cake. Hello there.
I brought the balls. Everyone was wondering, are they going to show up this time? I said, yes, they will.
We see them bright and clear.
Bright and clear.
It looks like...
Here comes the circus act of the show. See, I like to tell people I went through the Enlightenment, and part of the Enlightenment was they gave me gifts and abilities, so they made it easier for me to do things, and that includes juggling. They explained it this way: it's juggling's throwing, catching, and then like movement stuff like that, like reaction times, and like so. I started making videos on that, and then dolly. They made it easier for me to do impressions. Before I could do that, but see, I said everything had like a level of like how easy it was to do, like how much effort it took. And so, like, this voice here took me some effort to do, so that they made it so I could just do it naturally. And then, Donald Trump, folks, we're coming back. Number one, folks, we're gonna do it. So they made that easy. It just flows. It just comes right out of me.
We need to get you a black suit with a red tie and a blonde wig so you can be Donald the Juggler.
The juggler. He doesn't have the spirit orbs, darling. He needs to have orbs like me.
Mm-hmm.
So I just went golfing. I went out here twice now, and see, God made it easier for me to golf and hit a ball. And I had a hole in one today.
Wow! Awesome! Congratulations.
Congratulations to me. I'm super special.
Is that something new for you? Well, you spoke about this golf before last time.
Yeah, so I would golf every day. Yeah, just as something to do to get out of my room, because my life was wrecked. For 19 years, I said relied on spiritual things and dedicated myself to truth. But last September, I was on my hands and knees begging God to help me, and they started speaking to me. It was Mary, the Father, and Jesus, basically, and they trained me. Mostly Mary, because it was her will, and they trained. But I say it's the mind interface. This that they said no one's in control of this, because that went on for months and months. I couldn't even speak. They wouldn't even let me. They said don't come on this show. So I was kind of
wow.
Hiatus for that one. They had me, because I was in train. They call it spiritual boot camp. But now I'm left with a voice. So what I'm left with now, instead of talking to God, now it's just a voice that corrects me. And so they'll correct me on everything, whether I like it or not. And so I said, everyone should hear this voice. Everyone should be corrected. Donald Trump. Very interesting. Everybody loves me. I love you all, darling. I love you all.
What is the source of this voice? I think you've called it a mind jacker, but what is this? Who is this voice?
That I jokingly called it the mind jacker because I said an intelligent agent moved in. It's like I thought I was alone. I thought in my thoughts I was alone. They showed me during the Enlightenment, they showed me all this ways that your thoughts can work. So like they can make it seem like you're having a thought, but it's not you. So it's like they can make it seem like thoughts are coming from different things. Like I could talk to some people say like the sun would talk to them or something like they could make anything talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
But they can drain my energy down. They can give me energy. I say it's not just a voice. It's like they don't do it anymore, but they would like shock me awake. They would just shock me. It's like,
okay, you use a voice, but then you use the word they. So is it a collection of beings?
I don't have any. It seems like it's multiple beings, but it's also no beings, because I said I want the truth. And so part of being enlightened is you're not part of like a belief system. You're above those. So it's like, and they even corrected me on this. Can I say it? They said Jesus didn't exist. That was like a collection of stories, and then this mind interface that they can give people like Joseph Smith he was talking to Jesus and the Father. It's like I was talking to Mary, and I had a joke about that. I went into Catholic priest. I said, Mother Mary's talking to me. And I said, no, we only want to hear from Jesus. And I said, Jesus Christ is talking to me. I said, I only want to hear from Father God. And I said, Father God's talking to me. And they said, oh, get out of here. This is for our little cult only. And they didn't like me. I get kicked out now, not kicked out, because I say I get kicked out and the voice will correct me and they say, no, they asked you to leave. And they gave me an ultimatum, like you either sit there and listen or you get out of here.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm a changed person now. So it's like, do people like that? I don't know.
People love you.
They love me.
We love you, darling.
But people that are running things, they want it done their way. That's the thing. And does everyone want the truth? Because here's what they told me. They said I should be the leader of the new government, but it wouldn't. They said you don't need a government, but everything should be about the truth. People should just care about the truth, and government shouldn't help people. The religion should be helping people, and they should care about the truth, because they say go to a church, they'll help you. And I go in there, they preach helping, but they don't help.
I have a feeling that somebody's going to be putting in the chat Stephen Cake for president.
Put me for president. We're coming back. Number one, folks. We're going to do it. We're going to do some big things. You're going to love it. Folks, you're going to love the new juggling. I try to teach people juggling. I go around to kids, and I try to teach them some juggling. Because I say it's like, kids shouldn't just be left to run around in a field or something. It's like they should have fun things to do. Everyone should have fun in life. That's one thing they taught me. They said life was not about just sitting in a room like I was. They said, you should do what you want to do.
Yeah.
But they also said these are my lessons for me. But I like talking about it. So, because if I go try to make one of those walk and talk videos, they said this is not helping you. They go through the whole list, and then they usually kind of take over. So I can't just say whatever I want. Well, even when I did some comedy, and like they'll kind of like hijack my voice, so they'll just say, "Okay, everyone, it's time for my little comedy special here. Hope you enjoy it." Put me in, folks. We got to do it.
They are now saying Stephen Cake for mayor, Stephen Cake for president, Cake for president.
Yeah, and
are you up for the task?
It's like that Brewster's Millions, it's like, don't vote for me. Don't vote for me, folks. I'm going to do a very bad job. Very bad job here. We're going to be doing a very bad job. Mickey Mouse won't be there, though. It'll be me all by myself.
I think a common message of a lot of the NDEers is that we shouldn't be taking life so seriously. We should be having more fun. And that sounds like your message.
We should, because that's what I do when I go out on that golf course. They said, you don't like golfing. You just like hitting balls. And I said, yes, that's right. I just go out there. That course is almost empty because people don't want to go out there and get punished. They don't want to feel like this is frustrating. They want to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I hit extra balls. I say, look, hit extra putt. Do whatever you want. I use a helper.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you want, darling. Make it fun.
Whatever makes you happy.
It's gotta be happy. We gotta be happy. Yeah, because if I say, what's the purpose of life? And they say, you gotta do what you want. It's not like life is just inherently has a purpose there. It's like, that's why I say God can put a fire under your butt, but it's like, is that what you want? It's like, I prayed, God, come on, do it. God, do it. I say, I can tell if people are praying for me. It's like I feel it. It's like there's something in me, intuition, feelings. Like if people are thinking good stuff, I always said it was like an empath or something. Like I don't know what that is, but
all right, brother. Well, I've got to do what I've got to do.
Man, you got to do what you got to do, and enjoy life, man, because that's all you got, man. I love you all.
All right, we love you, Stephen.
God bless.
God bless you. Have a great night. And a big round of applause for Stephen. All right, next up is, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing her name correctly, Agnieska. And if not, I apologize, but I think that's going to be close to it. And I have to get this off real quick before she gets here. I want to thank somebody else, and that was Miriam. Thank you for that super thanks. We appreciate it. Agnieska, can you hear us? Hear me?
Yes, I can. I cannot see you.
Well, I just asked you to turn on your camera. So did you get that?
Zoom, let's see. Video. There we go. I think it's on. Let's see if it works. Start video. Sure. Okay, 1 second.
There you are.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Did I pronounce your name correctly?
Agnieszka.
Agnieszka. All right. So it sounds like a Polish name, but it looks too bright outside for you to be in Poland right now.
I'm in San Diego. I'm in my favorite park. It's called
wow. What's so crazy is two guests back, Raphael and Linda, are also in San Diego.
Incredible. We should meet.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be cool.
I would like to share a story with everyone who is interested in spiritual wizardry and is connected to that purpose. I've had many of those stories, and I was debating which story to share. So maybe today I'll talk about my experience with Vipassana and what happened during my 10-day course.
With the what? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but your experience with the what?
Vipassana, meditation.
Vipassana, retreat. Okay.
Are you familiar with that method?
I am not.
Okay, it's an ancient method that, according to archives, was taught by Buddha, but it was lost in India, and then it was resurrected by Goenka, this teacher from Bhutan, and he propagated this method throughout the world. When I was curious about how to connect better to my partner at that time, I was mentioned by my friend about this technique. She went and took that course. So I decided to participate, and I come from an intellectual background. I'm from Krakow, Poland. Very well read, but sort of in this kind of mental game rather than aware of all these other systems within me that were speaking to me in not so pleasant ways sometimes, but I couldn't quite understand and compute what was happening. And that has to do with my childhood upbringing, but I'm not going to get into this right now. I signed up for this meditation. It's free. It's a 10-day course in which you are submitting yourself to a very rigid process. You wake up at 4 a.m., you start meditating at 4:30 in the morning. Then you have breakfast around 7, short break, and the cycle continues. And you're supposed to sit in one position. For the first 3 days, you focus on a technique called Anapana. And that means that you only observe sensations below your nostrils and above your upper lip. So I was doing that and feeling discomfort in my physical body, trying to sit in lotus. I couldn't sit in lotus. I was, using different preps, and eventually found sort of half kneeling position that I could maintain throughout an hour. And at the end of day 3, from this process of sharpening your mind to the point that you can actually feel the sensations, whatever they might be, without judging them, you're neutral, you're just observing. Then you shift your awareness to the top of your head and you begin scanning your body from head to toes. At first, you are sort of walking on this landscape of your own body on the surface level. And then later on, you start tapping to more subtle vibration within your body. And so what happened to me, I couldn't sleep. At night, people were sleeping. I was meditating and I just felt this energy building up. It sort of felt like at some point I'm going to, like a bird, caged bird, I'm going to fly out of the body. But I didn't understand really what that will mean for me. So come day 7 and I feel this euphoria. In the morning, we're meeting in a meditation hall. And all of a sudden, I find myself in space. I didn't expect this to happen. I felt this amazing bliss, and my body felt like it was spinning, like energy around me was spinning one direction, and it felt like I was tilting a bit. But I'm in a meditation hall. Each meditation session takes an hour, and then you have a bell that indicates that you can take a break. So within that hour, I was journeying, and it was literally like I'm in a spaceship or some sort of astronaut suit, and I'm seeing solar systems, I'm seeing planets, I'm seeing stars, and I feel this again very, very profound sense of euphoria and joy, and that lasted this entire hour.
Now, are you saying that you were astral traveling out of your body?
I believe so, and this happened many times since this first initial event, which for me was about 13 years ago. Mm-hmm. So obviously I became very curious about meditation, and I started practicing 2 hours every day, and then all these other things unfolded in my life. But that was this event which really made me think about, what meditation is and what this can do for me. And this is a silent retreat, and it's in a way very conservative. You don't talk about other forms of healing. You don't really talk about psychology of the human mind or trauma, anything like that. So at the end, you can talk towards the end of 10th day, and I wasn't really even ready to talk. I was just enjoying this incredible connection to everything around me, especially nature, because it was like for the first time I was fully plugged in with what was happening around me on all those levels that nature operates in. And my teacher asked me, what was your experience like? And then I said, I actually had this, I don't remember how I phrased it, but I ended up voyaging and just being completely in the outer space. And I have this vivid imagery, and it's accompanied by this bliss and joy. So he just said, you have very strong mind, continue meditating, but like be careful, because you can take your, like be grounded in a way, because this can take you out of your connection with what's here and now. And that was, profound. This made me start my meditation journey. It's been now 14, 15 years. I've had those kinds of experiences with other people on my own. As a child, I went through a lot of chaos, and I realized that I was dissociating a lot in the body. So I had connections with, Jesus and other beings, which I can talk about maybe some other time. I believe you're running out of time, but one of those very special events was going out of body and understanding that I can use a body as a vehicle, kind of a light body, and experience different realms. And that freedom that also is part of this adventure was profound, that I'm not bound to this one body, one perspective, or one consciousness, that I can spin those systems within and oil them in a way that will give me enough momentum or propel me into those other realms that have, you know, different intelligences, just different ways of being, functioning, communicating, and so on.
Well, I are you having any other out of body experiences even when you're not meditating, like through your dreams?
I do have these experiences. For me, it's kind of a norm. I can be maybe in nature. I love free diving, and I have these moments where I'm in the body, but I'm also outside and observing, and I can have this kind of 360 perception of what this place fully feels like, is like. So yeah, these are pleasant, and sometimes also I have involuntary moments where perhaps I feel triggered, it's subconscious, or somebody yells at me or something, and because I grew up in certain environment that you know, was not maybe conducive to me feeling very safe doing these journeys, then I'll be pushed out of body, and that's when it's you know, not so joyful. I have to like make sure that I'm safe and I'm not around people, and then I can have that journey. It's okay, but you know, most of it is very pleasant. But sometimes, if there is like a certain situation that will just shift me into that little girl experience, then it would be less than pleasant. So I think that gateway that I was using as a child to dissociate from discomfort, now it kind of allowed me in a way to really go far and deep into different galaxies and different realms. But you know, not all of it is in my control in terms of how this happens, when this happens. I can't like have a say into, you know, how all of this is going to be. Sometimes I get surprised.
Well, Agnieska, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us this evening. Definitely come back. The audience likes you. Someone even said they wanted to marry you. So,
wonderful.
Oh,
Yeah,
so-
thank you for having me. I've enjoyed watching your podcast since like March last year.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm really
Thank you. Are you still there?
all the best to everyone.
All right. Thank you. Have a great rest of your evening.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, so that's a big round of applause for Agnieska. All right, guys, so we're already into overtime, and it was a busy night tonight, so that was great, and it got pretty busy. I thought it got over 400 people, so that was great. I just want to see this podcast get up to 1,000 people, so we gotta. Oh yeah, we forgot about that. He's not even here. Sometimes he pops in to remind me. My wife reminded me that, you know, the paranormal party doesn't have to stop here. If you guys want to hang out, I'm pretty positive that Leslie will be at his channel, Leslie Kings, and he's usually playing live music. So I'm sure you can go hang out with Leslie. He would probably be happy to, have you guys there and listen. And why, if you guys want to keep chatting, there's like over 300 of you here. So there's no reason why you don't have to, you don't have to call it a night. Anyways, as I said before, tomorrow night is an NDE with a man, and I forgot how he ended up dying. I don't know why I can't remember that. It's crazy. But then the next night is a fabulous video on how we're all trapped here and how to take your own ET videos. And then let me tell you what else we've got coming up here. I've got another one with a channeler. Where's my thing? On Tuesday will be Genevieve Tager, Channeler, that I've already recorded that one. And 1, 2, I've got, I think, 3 NDEs so far scheduled for next week, and I have a famous numerologist, Sue Frederick, and she's been on television, all kinds of stuff. So if you're into numerology, I hope you will like that one. So those are the ones that are coming up for next week. I haven't scheduled people yet. I actually think I almost have someone scheduled for the 2nd, which is another NDE. And I have actually for the weekend, I have one scheduled for another NDE. So, you know, that it just guess kind of ebbs and flows. You know, people don't realize this, or maybe you guys know, because I talk to you guys more than I talk to the general public. But I try to balance NDEs out with other topics. So if it was up to me, I'd like to get 3 NDEs a week and 3 other topics a week, and then the live stream. So that's 7 videos a week. Also, just to remind you, on Saturdays, I'm doing, it's kind of like a flashback videos, and today's was an old one from like 2 years ago or so, or longer. And I'm trying to find old, interesting ones that you guys may have never seen before. That one, you know, we're up to over 800 videos, and I think that one was number 62, so that was a long time ago. And it's very possible that you never saw that, so I put that up there. And I just ran out of time. I'm still working on putting them out in Spanish and Portuguese, also older NDE videos and whatever else in Spanish and Portuguese. And I have one I started working on, so I want to get that up. And thank you, Luke. I guess we're over 97,000, so we're almost there to 100,000, and that's going to be really cool. And so once I get 100,000, and once I get my silver bell or button, I won't open it until I'll keep it in the box, and I'll open it live here with you guys, and I will just keep on going. So again, thank you all so much for watching us. And thanks for coming every day. Oh, I think someone wants to see Mika. And there's Mika. Mika had to make her appearance. And she's saying hello. She's saying bye-bye. So, thank you, everybody. We love you. God bless you. And good night.